Bakja brings a table full of homemade side dishes. She visits her daughter Jinju in the city, but Jinju yells at her right away. Jinju says, "No, you know I live in a small apartment, but you still bring all this stuff. Are we even close enough to share a bed?" Bakja says, "Can't a mother and daughter just eat a meal together? Can't we talk late into the night and sleep side by side?" But before Bakja can finish speaking, Jinju walks into her room and shuts the door, locked out by her daughter. Bakja wanders the streets of the unfamiliar city. She has already missed the last bus home. A 24-hour McDonald's becomes her only refuge. To stay there overnight, she buys the cheapest ice cream cone. She sits alone there all night. She even texts Jinju lying that she got home safely. She doesn't know Jinju has been following her, watching from outside, but too afraid to ask her to stay. Not long after, Jinju also comes to the same McDonald's. She sits in the same seat, orders the same ice cream and stares at it, lost in thought for a long time, because her mother has already passed away. She never imagined her last meeting with her mother. It ended in such an unexpected way. 3 years later, Bakja is now in heaven. She wins a prize in a writing competition there. This gives her a chance to visit the human world for 3 days. She can't wait to see her daughter Jinju, who makes her proud. She knows Jinju is now a professor in America, so the guide takes her back to the human world. But to her surprise, she doesn't arrive in busy America. Instead, she's back in their quiet hometown. Bakja says, "Why are we here? Did you make a mistake? Can't you do your job right?" Bakja looks closely and sees someone cooking in their old, abandoned house. As she wonders about this, a person comes out of the house. Bakja is shocked. It's her daughter Jinju. Bakja excitedly opens her arms to hug her, but Jinju passes right through her body. Bakja says, "What's happening?" "Oh right, I'm a ghost." Now, after calming down, Bakja can only watch as Jinju goes about her life. She sees Jinju has taken over the small restaurant she used to run. Jinju is busy working there. Bakja says, "What's going on? Why is she here? This is so confusing." She watches Jinju skillfully run the restaurant. A customer walks in. Jinju warmly serves them tea and water. Bakja is shocked to see that her daughter, who never cooked before, now, not only knows how to cook, but even makes her own kimchi. She watches Jinju enter the old, smelly cellar without hesitation. She takes out carefully made kimchi. Jinju returns to the kitchen and expertly prepares meals for customers. When the delicious-smelling dishes fill the table, even Bakja, as a ghost, can't help but drool. Bakja says, "I want to eat too." Though Jinju's growth makes Bakja a little proud, she mostly feels disappointed. When alive, Bakja bragged to villagers about her daughter being a professor in America. But now Bakja helplessly listens to neighbors gossiping behind her back. Neighbor says, "Is she even making money? No way, she'll starve soon." Bakja says that nosy old man should mind his own business. Today the restaurant runs out of soy sauce. Jinju rides her bike to the village store to buy some. The store owner, Jin, was Bakja's best friend. Like Bakja, she had high hopes for Jinju. She wanted her to succeed. Seeing Jinju like this breaks her heart. Auntie feels upset inside. Auntie says, "I won't sell to you." Jinju says, "Here we go again. Go buy it somewhere else. You make me angry. Go away. My shop is still open. Just sell it to me." But after Jinju keeps begging, the soft-hearted Auntie finally puts a bottle of soy sauce into Jinju's bike basket. After Jinju leaves, Auntie starts talking again. Auntie says, "Oh, Bakja, are you watching?" Bakja says, "Yes, I'm watching." After getting home, Jinju goes to the yard and lights the big clay stove. She starts roasting coffee beans. Seeing this, Bakja's thoughts go back to a few years ago. Back then, Bakja had just built this stove. She felt proud and happy. She wanted to call her daughter far away to share the news. She also used it as an excuse to ask her daughter to visit so they could eat a meal together. Bakja says, "Jinju, it's me. Are you busy?" Jinju says what Bakja says. "It's nothing special. I just built a stove with bricks. I cover the stove with mud, and it looks very nice. I also bought a new iron pot. If we grill pork belly on this lid, it will be delicious. When will you come back? Let's eat pork belly together." Jinju says, "Mom, I have to go to class now." Hearing her daughter is busy, Bakja hides her disappointment. She carefully asks Jinju when she will leave for the US, but Jinju sounds impatient. On the phone she gives cold, vague answers. She says, "I'm busy," and quickly hangs up. Bakja holds the phone, feeling upset. She just sits there quietly. After a while, Bakja calls her sister-in-law. She tries to find out Jinju's exact travel date. When her sister-in-law tells her Jinju's flight is next week, Bakja hides her sadness. She lies and says she already knew but forgot the date. Then she quickly hangs up. Now Bakja truly realizes her daughter Jinju is really leaving her, and as her mother, she was the last to know. Bakja watches Jinju roast coffee beans on the stove she built. Then Jinju slowly grinds them by hand. She brews a hot cup of coffee. Finally, she sits comfortably on the porch in the yard basking in the sun. Bakja watches her daughter Jinju enjoying herself like this. Her complaints and confusion rise up again. How can you still sing happily? You can't even sing. Is someone cursing me? Bakja says, "Yes, I'm cursing you. Can you hear me? You brat." Night falls. Jinju sits alone at the dining table. She drinks soju in big gulps. After drinking, she lies on the bed where her mother used to sleep. The familiar smell doesn't bring her peace. Instead, she tosses and turns, unable to sleep. Jinju suddenly sits up, gasping for air, as if an invisible pain is choking her. Jinju runs out of the house, filled with her mother's presence. She sprints through the empty night. Finally, she stops on a bridge facing the dark river. She completely breaks down. Jinju says, "I'm going crazy. I'm really going crazy, Mom. Because of you I can't go on living." Only now, for the first time, Bakja sees past her daughter's cold appearance. She realizes Jinju hides deep regret and love inside. But between them now is a wall of life and death that can never be crossed. Bakja can only watch helplessly as her daughter suffers. The next morning, Bakja follows Jinju as she drives to the city hospital. She learns Jinju has severe depression. Though Jinju seems calm, she can't sleep at night. She often wakes up in pain. The doctor asks, "What do you think about?" Often Jinju answers, "My mom." The doctor asks, "What about your mom?" Jinju says, "Why did she leave me?" Hearing these words, Bakja's eyes fill with tears. Her mind flashes back to painful memories. Years ago, Bakja raised Jinju alone after her husband left. Life was very hard. Bakja worked multiple jobs each day. She wanted Jinju to have a better life and education. So she made a tough choice. She sent young Jinju to live with her uncle, a teacher. Bakja sent money for food and school every month. She visited Jinju sometimes, but young Jinju felt her mother had abandoned her. This pain stayed with her as she grew up. Now Bakja finally understands. Bakja now realizes her past decision for Jinju's own good has left such deep and lasting scars on her daughter's heart. After leaving the hospital, Jinju picks up her best friend Mijin at the station. Mijin's arrival brings a little sunshine into Jinju's gloomy life. Mijin even brings McDonald's, which Jinju used to love. But Jinju says, "I don't like it anymore. What, you always ate this in the library before." "Not anymore. You're so unpredictable." When they reach Jinju's house, they find villagers blocking the way with protest signs. They demand Jinju move out. A developer plans to take the land to build a golf course. They promise to hire the villagers as grass cutters for farmers struggling to make money. This is a great opportunity. But Jinju refuses to leave her mother's old house. Her stubbornness delays the project. Jinju is used to the villagers' protests. She stays calm, not getting angry. Instead, she goes inside, fries some eggs, and cooks a pot of steaming noodles for everyone. She invites them, "Eat first, then we'll talk." How can you protest without energy? Let's eat first before we talk. The villagers don't accept her kindness at first. They tell her to move out quickly. Jinju's friend, Mijin, steps forward. She helps Jinju out. She scolds the villagers for acting superior. "Since you're already here, it looks delicious. Let's eat. Come sit down. Eat while it's hot." After things calm down, Jinju and Mijin sit on a bench to talk. Mijin doesn't understand why Jinju stays alone in this remote village. She thinks Jinju is too lonely. But Jinju says, "This is my punishment to myself. To get away from my mom. I chose to work at a university in America. I got what I wanted, life without mom. But one day I got news that mom died from a heart attack. My flight got delayed. So I arrived 2 days late for her funeral. I never got to see my mom one last time. Now I often think, I was such a heartless daughter. If I hadn't gone to America, Mom wouldn't have been so lonely in her old age. And she wouldn't have stayed in the freezer for 2 extra days. Hearing her daughter's words, Bakja gets both angry and worried. Hey, I died because my time came. It has nothing to do with you. Mijin says, but it's because you went to America. Jinju says, exactly. You could have worked in Seoul. Why did you run away to America? I'm so mad I could stomp my feet. Bakja says, hey, you weren't running away. You went to become a professor. I'm really going crazy. At noon, Jinju decides to make dumplings for Mijin. Actually, she wants to recreate the taste from her childhood memories. She wants to make them taste like her mother's. Those dumplings were rare, happy memories from her poor childhood when she and her mother had no one but each other. Meat filling was a luxury to satisfy Jinju's sweet tooth. Her mother creatively added sweet ingredients to the filling. To Jinju, they weren't just dumplings. They were her mother's special way of creating sweetness in their hard life. They were the warmest comfort between mother and daughter. Now that her mother is gone, that taste has become an impossible dream for Jinju. To recreate that memory, Jinju tries every ingredient she can think of. She makes the dumpling filling again and again. She tries one dumpling after another. She eats until she feels sick. But that special taste remains a distant and blurry memory. She just can't grasp it. Then one day, while chatting with the shop owner, Jinju accidentally learns the secret. The woman says, I never understood why your mom put this in dumplings. It's so sweet. This casual remark makes Jinju freeze in shock. She takes a bite of raw radish. That long-lost sweet flavor comes from simple white radish. This is the answer. Now Jinju finally finds the key to carefully unlock her memories. She recreates that distant childhood taste she shared with her mom. This is our Jinju's cute little nose. So Mom wants to eat me. Yes. Come here, let Mom take a bite. Her friend Mijin tries one and immediately loves the unique flavor. Jinju watches her and finally smiles genuinely. She knows she's found more than childhood flavors. She's rediscovered her mother's love. This warmth she thought was lost forever. This also reminds Jinju of Bakja's clumsy but deep love for her. It was that same overwhelming love that pushed young Jinju to study extremely hard. Back then Bakja had remarried. She married a rich man. One time, while the man's family was away on vacation, Bakja secretly brought Jinju to her new city home. She cooked a big meal for Jinju. Bakja says, don't you like egg rolls? Try some. Jinju says, that's Emma's favorite. I just eat whatever's given to me. Bakja says, eat up. How's school? I should visit sometime. Jinju says, Auntie went already. Bakja says, I see. How are your grades still doing well? Don't worry about anything. Just focus on studying. Don't stress about tuition. Study hard and become a doctor someday. People respect those who do well in school. But before Jinju can take a bite, the doorbell rings suddenly. Her stepfather, who wasn't due back until tomorrow, returns early with his 2 kids. Seeing Jinju and the table full of food, the stepfather's face turns angry. He asks, who is she? Is she your daughter? Mom says, she finished school early today, so I wanted her to have a meal before leaving. The stepfather's child says, I'm hungry too. Can you make me instant noodles? The stepfather says, both of you go to your rooms now. The stepfather's child says, is there anything else besides noodles? Of course I cooked many dishes. The stepfather says, get inside now. The stepfather says to Jinju in a mocking tone, you better study hard. Your mother only lives here to support you. Understand? Without your mother you wouldn't even go to school. What a feast. You should eat a lot. Don't waste all this food. Leftovers just become trash. How generous to cook so much. This dinner at the stepfather's house becomes the final breaking point in their relationship, because what Jinju sees now isn't sacrifice or greatness, but a mother who can't even stand tall in front of her own child. Jinju says, it was a family trip. Why didn't you go? Mom says, I don't like flying. Jinju says, you've never even been on a plane. Mom says, staying meant I could see you. Jinju says seriously, Jinju, that's it. Their fight starts at the dinner table and continues all the way to the bus stop. There Jinju tells her mother an idea. She wants to earn money herself. She wants to free her mother from that house. After all, she's grown up. Now she can start working. But this touches Bakja's biggest fear. Bakja puts up with everything just to let her daughter study. She wants Jinju to have a better life than hers. To her, Jinju's plan isn't help. It feels like her sacrifices mean nothing, and it's a stupid way to ruin her future. Finally, Bakja says no and pushes Jinju onto the bus, leaving town. At that moment, their love pulls them in opposite directions. This heavy, unspoken love digs the deepest gap between them, one they can never cross again, not even after death. Hey, what's wrong? Go away. Give me your seat. I need to study. Mom's sister says she needs to study. At graduation photos, why didn't you stand next to your mom? Sigh. That's the only photo I have with my mom. After hearing these memories, Bakja sits outside the house. She feels very mixed emotions inside. She doesn't realize yet that her self-sacrificing love actually hurt Jinju deeply. It made Jinju feel abandoned by her mother for the second time. Just then a car pulls in. A man gets out of the car. Jinju comes out and sees it's her ex-boyfriend. Mijin secretly contacted him to come and talk to Jinju. Jinju invites him inside but acts cold. She tells him to forget about her and find his true love. They broke up before because while planning their wedding, his mother looked down on Bakja's background. She thought it was shameful. She wanted Jinju's uncle, a school principal, and his wife to sit as main hosts at the wedding. Jinju couldn't accept this. My mom lived her whole life for me. If she can't sit as the main host, that would be too cruel to my mom. No matter what, I'm her daughter. I can't do it. I wish you happiness. Bakja watches her daughter's whole talk with her ex-boyfriend. Now she understands. Jinju canceled the wedding because his family looked down on her. They even wanted to erase her mother from the ceremony. To protect her mom's dignity, Jinju gave up her own happiness. This truth fills Bakja with mixed feelings. For the first time, she truly sees how much she means to her daughter. But she doesn't feel touched. She thinks her whole life not only failed to bring Jinju joy, but became her biggest obstacle to happiness. Why would a smart girl like you call off a wedding? Marrying well and having kids is true happiness. I can't stand this. Overcome with emotion, she kicks a metal bucket across the yard. Wait, did I just kick that? She's shocked to touch something in the living world. Overjoyed, she thinks she can finally talk to Jinju. But no matter how hard she tries, she's still like invisible air. Her daughter can't sense her at all, but her kick breaks the rules for ghosts on vacation. The heaven guide finds Bakja because she broke the rules. Her 3-day vacation must end now, but Bakja ignores him. Right now, she only has one thought. She must do something for her daughter Jinju, who gave up her own happiness. Bakja follows Jinju up the mountain. They stop in front of Bakja's grave. Today is Bakja's birthday, but Jinju didn't bring a birthday cake. She brought regret. Jinju whispers to herself, I never cooked mom a single birthday meal. But every year on Jinju's birthday, Bakja would call to remind her to eat the special long-life noodles. Mijin says, you should have made those noodles then. Jinju replies, what's the point now that she's gone? I should have done it when she was alive. Bakja listens heartbroken but helpless. She wants to tell Jinju she never cared about those traditions. All Bakja ever wanted was for Jinju to let go of the past and live her own happy, bright future. What? Bakja snaps. I'm too angry right now. The guide says, stop being mad, let's go. On their way back, the guide keeps telling Bakja to go back. Just then the dog Bakja raised when she was alive runs over. The dog can strangely see Bakja and the guide. It barks loudly at the guide. The guide is afraid of dogs. He immediately runs away in fear. When the guide returns, he urges Bakja to go back quickly. Bakja notices the guide covering his backside with one hand. She insists on seeing what's so mysterious. Turns out, the dog bit a hole in the guide's pants. Bakja seizes this chance. Using the guide's fear of dogs, she threatens him to let her stay one more day on Earth. The guide says, Lucky, where are you? Underpants brother misses you. Ms. Bakja, come here, there's lots of yummy food. Wait, stop this. Lucky, where are you? Ms. Bakja, Lucky, where are you? Lucky, come here. The guide says, okay. Fine. Bakja gets her wish. She gets one more day. Bakja stays with Jinju as she sees off her friend Mijin. After Mijin leaves, the excitement fades. That familiar loneliness surrounds Jinju again. On the way back, Jinju hears a song playing in a shop by the road. The familiar melody instantly brings back old memories. In her later years, Bakja lives alone in the countryside and runs a small restaurant. Her biggest wish every day is to call her daughter Jinju. But on the other end, no one answers, or Jinju hangs up impatiently. This song, set as Jinju's ringtone, becomes the one Bakja hears the most in her life and the one that hurts her the most. Her hope over the phone is gone. Bakja packs her love into food and brings it to Jinju in person. To Bakja, these homemade dishes are the most real way she can show her love. But this love, full of sacrifice, has already worn Jinju out. Jinju says, "Why did you bring all this?" Bakja says, "Can't I bring some food for my daughter?" Jinju says, "Seriously? You know I live in a tiny place, yet you bring so much stuff. Are we even close enough to share a bed?" Bakja says, "Can't a mother and daughter even eat a meal together? Can't we talk or sleep in the same room sometimes?" Jinju says, "Then you should have raised me like other mothers do." And just like that, Bakja is sent away by her daughter in this unfamiliar city. She has nowhere to go. She walks into a 24-hour McDonald's. She orders the cheapest ice cream cone. She just sits there blankly. Jinju actually follows her out worried. She watches her mother ask a worker to send her a text message. The text says she's already on a bus home. It tells Jinju to eat well and sleep well. That text is Bakja's last act of pride. Jinju feels terrible inside. She sees her mother's lonely figure through the window, but she can't bring herself to go inside. She can't expose her mother's lie or stop her from leaving. She can only keep her mother company silently. They spend the long night like this. Now Jinju enters the same McDonald's. She orders the same ice cream cone. She sits where her mother once sat. That night's memory stays fresh in her mind. When Bakja sees Jinju holding the ice cream, she finally understands her daughter's feelings and struggles. Bakja says, "You saw everything that night. I'd already forgotten about it. Why do you still remember such small things? Mom forgot about it long ago. I forgot all those sad memories long ago. Parents only remember the good things. So you should forget too, okay?" Bakja wants her daughter to forget these painful memories. She wants Jinju to find happiness. But this melting ice cream cone becomes proof of the love and guilt between mother and daughter. That night Jinju returns home. The shopkeeper aunt brings some alcohol and comes to chat with her. With warm tofu and cold rice wine, the aunt starts talking. She tells Jinju things she never knew about her mother. The aunt says, "Your mom was always strong-willed. When young she studied hard and dreamed of working in the city. But she had to quit school to work and support her brother's education. Later she married, but lost her husband raising you alone. Once she took you to clean a rich family's house, she accidentally ruined some clothes. The kind lady didn't ask for payment and still paid her normally, but your mom insisted on paying for the damage. The lady said, 'Auntie, I understand how you feel, but keeping your pride while working here makes us both uncomfortable. Please take it.' Bakja said, 'No, even when working for others, I must pay for what I damaged. Let's go.' Jinju say goodbye to the lady. But this proud woman ends up giving up everything for her daughter Jinju. Back then, Jinju's expensive school fees left Bakja with no choice. That's when a matchmaker brought an offer from a man. He agreed to pay for Jinju's college and study abroad, but there was one condition. Jinju couldn't live with her mother Bakja anymore. What could Bakja do? She could either keep Jinju with her and let her suffer, never knowing where the next meal would come from, or send Jinju to live with her uncle, a teacher, so she could study and have a better future. Bakja chose the second option without hesitation. It's not that Bakja didn't love Jinju. She loved her so much that she chose to be lonely, just so Jinju could have the life she never had. Auntie says, "If Bakja didn't send money, would your uncle and aunt have treated you so well?" Jinju says, "I know I never understood why Bakja did that. I always thought she was foolish. But after she passed away and wasn't by my side, I finally understood. My mom had no other choice. She did it because she had no other choice." Bakja says, "No, it's all my fault for not doing better. It's all my fault." The aunt says, "There's more. Before you went to America, why didn't you come back to see your mom?" By then, Bakja already looked pale as death. Back then, Bakja lied to the aunt. "My daughter wanted me to stay and sleep over, but she's really busy. Yeah, she's busy preparing for America. I didn't want to distract her, so I came back home." But what they didn't know was on that winter night before Jinju left, Jinju quietly returned home with a box of bellflower juice. Because during their rare meal together, Jinju noticed something was wrong. Jinju asked, "Why are you breathing so heavily? Are you feeling sick?" Bokja said, "No, I'm fine. At my age this is normal. The villager says bellflower juice helps. I'll wait until autumn to buy some." But Jinju remembered Bokja's casual remark about the bellflower juice. Jinju knew Bokja would never spend money to buy it. So before leaving, Jinju brought a whole box of bellflower juice to give to Bokja in person. But when Jinju stands outside the door, she hears Bokja bragging about her to friends again. This heavy expectation makes Jinju feel suffocated. Once more, Bokja says she's not just any professor, she's a professor at UCL or something in the US. In the end, Jinju chooses to walk away. This missed moment becomes a regret that mother and daughter can never fix. Bokja says, "So that was from you. But since you came, why didn't you see me?" Jinju says, "I had so much to tell you, but now I can't say it anymore. I think only death will let me see you again." This hopeless line shocks Bokja. Bokja fears Jinju might hurt herself because of this guilt. Jinju says one more drink. After saying goodbye to her aunt, Jinju goes to her room to sleep, but she still can't fall asleep. Her longing for her mother grows stronger. Jinju opens her mother's diary again. It's full of her mother's thoughts about her. Bokja writes, "She won't answer my calls. Is she busy? It's snowing so hard. Everything is white. Jinju would love this if she saw it. I gave birth to you. I love you so much, but you also break my heart. Why do you hate me, Jinju?" Jinju says, "Reading this always makes me sad." "Oh, Bokja." Bokja says, "Is this why you stayed here? Why did I write these things? I trapped you here. I'm such a useless mother." Bokja sees her daughter heartbroken by her diary. Her guilt reaches its peak. She must do something for her daughter. So Bokja finds the guide. She asks him to let her see Jinju one last time. Bokja wants to tell her daughter directly, everything is over now. She wants Jinju to let go of the guilt and live her life well. Bokja says, "Please help me. If I leave like this, she might do something reckless. You saw it too. I'll go back and accept my punishment, even if I disappear forever. I don't care. I need to tell my daughter I'm fine and she shouldn't blame herself. Just let me say this one thing to her." After 3 days together, the guide sees the deep bond between mother and daughter and Jinju's worrying state. He feels pity for them. So he agrees to Bokja's request. But by the rules, this requires a cruel price in return. Bokja must lose all her memories of her daughter. All her memories of her daughter will be completely erased. This means even if they meet again in another world, she will become a stranger to Jinju. This price shocks Bokja like lightning. She falls to the ground. She sits there stunned for a long time. This condition takes away the only meaning of Bokja's life, because the memories with her daughter are her only treasure. But in the end, to let Jinju live a happy new life, she makes her decision. Bokja says, "Let's begin. I'm not important. Jinju's happiness matters more. Let's begin. What should I do?" The guide is moved by this great mother's love. With the guide's help, the line between life and death blurs. Bokja enters Jinju's dream. Jinju says, "Mom, where have you been? You're so late." Bokja says, "Were you waiting for me?" Jinju says, "Did you eat?" Bokja says, "I'm not hungry." Jinju says, "You need seaweed soup for your birthday. I waited for you all day." Bokja says, "Will you make me seaweed soup?" Seeing her mom back by her side, Jinju quickly stands up. She goes to the kitchen and starts working, using her memories of her mom and the cooking skills she learned. After returning home, she prepares a big birthday meal for her mom, Bokja. There is seaweed soup, there are mixed vegetables, and there are radish dumplings that hold special memories. The mother and daughter, who used to be silent and distant, now sit together under warm lights with delicious food. Every dish on the table seems to tell the love and sorry they never said before. This is the first time Bokja eats food made by Jinju. She feels very happy and satisfied. Jinju asks, "Is it good?" Bokja says, "Yes, very good. Why did you want to cook this birthday meal for me?" Jinju says, "I always wanted to do this. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe you also didn't know. I always wanted to eat a birthday meal made by you. This took me a lot of work. I hope you like it." Mom Bokja says, "Okay, let me try it." Bokja says, "So delicious." Jinju asks, "Does it taste like yours?" Yes, just the same, very good. This meal they eat very slowly, as if trying to make up for all the lost time together and all the love they never got to express. They try to make up for everything tonight. Bokja says it's delicious. Mother and daughter lean by the porch. They watch the round moon in the sky together. This reunion across life and death is like a key that came too late, finally unlocking hearts they kept closed for years. The regrets and guilt inside, the struggles and mixed feelings outside all disappear as they hug each other. Turns out the best way to heal each other is a simple face-to-face talk. Bokja says, Jinju, I never abandoned you. I just wanted you to study hard to live a better life than mine. Jinju says, I know, Mom, I was too selfish. Look, I wouldn't be here without you. Your sacrifices made me who I am. I knew that, yet I let you feel so alone. I'm sorry, Mom. Mom, thank you, Mom, thank you. Thank you for saying that, my precious daughter Jinju. They didn't understand each other before. There was anger and sacrifice between them, but there was also deep love, guilt, and regret. Under the warm moonlight, all their problems seemed to disappear. That night, in her mother's warm arms, Jinju sleeps peacefully. It's the first time she feels this safe in many years away from home. Now she understands that all her hard work and strength, these years were just for this moment of peace. Bokja gently pats her daughter to sleep, like when she was little. Take care of yourself, don't feel sorry, live happily. Bokja says, I've cried all your tears for you. Jinju, you must live with a smile from now on. Okay, seeing her daughter's peaceful smile. After so long, Bokja knows her daughter can finally move on from the past. At the same time, the guide begins to keep their promise. They erase all of Bokja's memories about her daughter, scene by scene. All the precious, painful, and warm memories. All these memories are slowly fading away. The next morning, sunlight fills the room again. Jinju opens her eyes. The house is quiet as usual, but somehow everything feels different. Her mother is gone, but everything from last night feels so real in her heart. The warmth left on the bed and the peace she feels inside tell her that her mother really came back. The heavy rock of guilt that once crushed her is gone. Now it has finally disappeared. She calls her friend Mijin and says she'll return to Seoul next week. She's ready to start her life again. At this moment, a gentle breeze blows by. It turns the diary to the last page. There are her mother's last words. Before losing all memories. It says, Jinju, I'm glad I got to see you before leaving. Please live to be 100 years old. Live a wonderful life, and then come find me. Thank you for being my daughter, and I'm sorry. Even if I forget you, please come look for me. Every word on the page, every word carries a mother's endless care and eternal love for her daughter. The mother uses her most precious memories to bring sunny skies for her daughter's future. She forgets her daughter, but this experience finally teaches her how to love. This story might reflect countless families. The greatest tragedy between family isn't loud arguments, but the silence of, I thought you understood, and the delay of, we'll talk tomorrow. These daily misunderstandings turn purest love into the sharpest weapon. Love can't wait, nor can it survive guessing. Don't wait until you can only find answers and memories to regret not speaking. Your heart during hugs. While the sun still shines, while you're still together, be brave to express love. Don't let love become life's biggest regret.